Are you filming me?
Yeah, why not?
Well, what do you want to say?
Well, you can talk about your new gate and how excited you are.
This is my new gate and I'm very excited about it.
Hello, my name's Mike, M0MSN, and today we're travelling to Kenilworth, to Callum's factory, to have a quick look round and also to meet the man himself and to find out why he got into amateur radio and where it's taken him and where he's going, what his plans are for the future. So come with me and as Rowley says, pull up a cup of coffee. No, you don't pull up a cup of coffee, do you? Pour yourself a cup of coffee, pull up a chair, and whatever. It's all fun.
The gate has two hinges, the top and the bottom. We couldn't afford a 3-hinge version. It has a little sign. It says a research field, and it has a rusty clasp.
Oh yeah, we've all had one of them before, haven't we? So what do you put on your rusty clasp?
This is to stop, this bungee cord is to stop people going in and out. See, these are the tram lines for the, they're going to dig this up to put the 4-inch trunking in. But I wanted a temporary hole because I was getting a bit desperate. And I'll just bring some EcoFlex 15 or something out of there, just so I can drag a bit of coax into the field, just to do some testing on the Rapide.
Desperate, did you say?
Desperate, yeah. So, and this is the old field day generator, which apparently still works. Or does it? I'll just make sure it starts. We've had this about 13 years, but I'll be able to test my VHF out soon. We've got a couple of VHF products in the pipe, but in the interim I'll probably just put up, I've got a 17 element tonner. I just want to get that IC 7900 working properly on SSB. It needs a really good touch up actually. This summer I'll take these off and wire brush them and repaint the top here. There we are, it is what it is. So all these boxes are from Uplands Farm. I haven't a clue what's in them, so all these have got to come down, and I'm not doing it now. I'm going to empty them all out and rebuild all the boxes, like 12 volts, mains, computer.
I've got a question. So how did you get into amateur radio? When was it? And Are you still enjoying it?
So as a boy in the CCF at school, there was a big long wire up behind the toilet blocks. Where
CCF, that's the Combined Cadet Force,
right? So it's like a little mini army, and there was like some Second World War gear in there, and some of the older boys, I could hear them, presumably on the CCF nets, the little military junior nets, around about, I assume, 5 megahertz. I wasn't allowed anywhere near the gear because I had a terrible reputation at school for just breaking anything. But that intrigued me, and my father was Royal Signals, so he would bring home stuff to fix, you know, just, I mean, I remember him bringing home one of these, it was like a record player, but it was like a dictaphone, but like from the 60s, where it was a little flimsy plastic magnetic sheet. So he was always repairing things, I think sometimes for the fun of it, and also he repaired this one so I could just muck about with it. There was that, and then of course I was on a private yacht. If anybody's watched Below Decks on the telly, it was kind of similar, but we were, I can honestly say, a hell of a lot more organised than they were on that soap. But we had a big marine HF set on board, and sometimes I'd have a twiddle if I was on anchor watch or bridge watch and everybody's off the boat, for instance. Someone's got to sit there, you know, and I'd just fiddle around with this radio. Sometimes I could hear things and sometimes I couldn't. Maybe it's because I just hit the mute button by accident. I had no idea. And then, of course, the crunch came. I'm sitting in this car with this girl one day, and she's got a CB radio. I couldn't believe it. That I didn't even know you could have a CB radio. So I immediately went out and bought a CB radio, and I suppose the end is history. But it was, I don't know. I'm typical in that you got to remember that even if you introduce radio, CB, it doesn't matter, to young people, very often, particularly in the modern day, you know, you've got Instagram and Snapchat and all these social networking, social environment on the internet. So it's quite difficult to get a young person to be involved in RF. But what you can do is introduce them so that and typically, I think I was 43 years old when I realised I could take a foundation exam and get a 10-watt licence, which is what I did. But I was only foundation for a few months because I took the last ever radio amateur exam, which meant I missed out intermediate. And that's how I got into it. Because I had 2 other businesses, I used to use all my spare time making antennas and stuff. Mostly for either field day or for the scouts or for going on holiday and whatever else. And it was just very gradually, I accidentally came up with the DX Commander format because it was really easy to go on holiday with. It was just a few elements. And then I started making a few for friends, and then I made a few for rallies. And then, well, now here we are in a 1,000 square feet little factory employing Wendy, Lockie, and me.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
5 years' time. Probably still here on the radio every day with a couple of people in the warehouse and a slightly different product range. I've got a couple of things I can't tell you about, but I do have a couple of really cool ideas that I want to produce. It's just finding the time, you see, to produce these things. But Lockie now does all the labels, does all the dispatch. Wendy does all the ordering and all the nuts, bolts, washers, fork connectors, shock cord and all that stuff. Technically, the only thing I do is tap out the plates and do the customer engagement. Now, this is a transition because we only just started this. I would say within a week when I've finished the Rapide build. I mean, here's a classic, look, Mike. It's that the last couple of days I've been working on a new Rapide. So I've actually got the time now to build, you know, elements, and this is quite cool. That's the 30-metre element, obviously, because it says 30, look. So I've done, this is a 6-band, 30, 20, 15, 17, 12 and 10, all CB. And that'll be really nice. So I'm just nearly built this. I've done the elements.
The Rapide, is that going to replace, or is that a complement to the range, or?
Well, okay. So the Lite, LITE, I've disbanded. That's end of life now, because I felt that this was much better, and it will be. I've made the. Oh, here we are. These are the ground radials. A lot of people say that radials are a bit of a hassle, but honestly, I mean, that is one bunch of radials. It's not. That's all it is. I can't understand how most people not, but you know, you throw that on the ground. I've got 6 of these. Just split them up a bit. They're down. So for a holiday antenna, it worked lovely.
Now, you've long been a champion of the Rudy 7 approach, if you like, to the radials, where you get to a certain point where it becomes less cost effective to have copper down there to the gain, if you like. So what's your optimum amount of ground radials?
Okay, well, I'm a believer that if you pick your lowest frequency. And on this, although you'll have 30 meters, let's just take the real lowest band is 20 most of the time. So therefore, if you multiply 20 by 4, you get 80 meters. Now, which is nearly 4 wavelengths. So 4 wavelengths at 20 meters is 80. So 80, 20, 80, 20. And if you look at it, if you took 5 meter radials and you've got 80 meters of wire, that would be 16 quarter waves, right? Alternatively, you could have 32 eighth waves. So that's actually what this is. It's 75 meters actually. On this, you get 75 meters, not 80. And then at 16 quarter waves, you're 1.2 dB under 32 radials, which is, I think, less than a dB at miles of radials. You know, the only thing now that can affect it is whether are you down by the sea, and that's because the near field and the far field, it just lowers it doesn't give you so much more gain. It's just slightly more efficient, and it will bring the lobe down towards the horizon more. Yeah,
due to the amount of millisiemens in the in the ground.
So you've got this lovely mirror, copper mirror, it looks like. So what happens on this is that the customer gets a reel of wire, and I've done the cut this morning. So I took one of these, I rattled off my calculations were correct. I wound all the radials off, round all the elements off, and I had that much left. So, Mike, you can have that.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know.
It's my free gift.
That was the bit left over.
I do need something to wind it on.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, we need to wind it up a bit.
Or wind me up a bit.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
And you can have that for free, mate.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thank you.
Well, I'm really excited about this. So 7 metre pole, what does that look like?
Oh, no, I don't care no more. I've got a free reel.
So I'm really excited about this. It only weighs a kilo.
That actually looks slightly different to the DX Commander Lite. Is it different?
No,
or is it the same?
It's the same. And how it works?
It doesn't look it. Fair enough.
No, it's definitely exactly the same. Oh. So the ground plate goes over there, screws back on. I've just thought, Mike, I haven't tested these yet. I hope the plates fit. That goes over there. It better fit. Nearly. Yeah, got it on there. Done it.
Excellent.
And there's the driven plate. So obviously a radial's connected here, and I've got various plastic components that fit on. one there, one at about 3.5 meters. This one's at 5. And it should be, I'm just so excited. But you asked me, you know, well, you didn't ask me what do I get out of the day, but I've got the best job in the world, and it's a perfect fit. I've got the best job in the world because I get paid now to design, build antennas and use them on the radio. So it's fantastic. This is nice. I measured it right. Just.
Don't take the plates off yet.
Yeah. Well, oh, it's coming off. I could
To be fair, I do remember when I got mine the first time, I put a little bit of emery cloth or sandpaper on the base.
Yeah, I must have. I'll have to do that
to get them, but no, it's fine.
I'd prefer it to be a snug fit than rattling around.
Agreed.
So this would be great. 6.8 meters that will go up to, which will do 30, 20, 17, 15, CB or 12 and 10. Oh, and it will give us 6 of the 30 meter element. And we should get 2 meters on this. But we'll find out.